Hi everyone, welcome to the Befores and Afters podcast. I'm Ian Fales from Befores and Afters. Today we have a podcast discussion sponsored by Reallusion, a great supporter of Befores and Afters. And in particular, we're talking about AccuRIG, Reallusion's free application for automatic character rigging. I'm joined by Reallusion's John Martin, who is Vice President of Marketing, for a look at how AccuRIG came to be and how it forms part of Reallusion's ActorCore asset library. It's a really fun chat where we even go back to John's original start at Reallusion and what he used to do before, and we look at some of the tech details behind AccuRIG. Let's jump into the chat now. Hi John, how are you?
I'm good, Ian. How are you today?
I'm good. Great to talk to you. Last time we caught up was at SIGGRAPH in Vancouver, very briefly at the cafe there. It was kind of frantic for me, that conference.
It was great. SIGGRAPH coming back strong in Vancouver. I was happy that we were both running to and from meetings and seeing people. There was a lot of energy coming back to SIGGRAPH with the grand anticipation of celebrating our craft and advancements together. So it was a good time coming back. So it was a welcome moment to see you and get to talk to you, even if it was in brief, because I know we were so excited about everything being running up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, today we're going to talk about AccuRIG from Reallusion, but before we jump into that, I thought we might go for a brief history of your own work at Reallusion and perhaps elsewhere, John. For people who don't know, what have you been up to personally for the past couple of years?
That's great, Ian. Yes, I have been working with Reallusion, fortunately, for a little over 20 years.
Wow.
And this is certainly a time that's every bit as exciting as the first day that I witnessed the technology many, many versions ago. With our flagship software, Crazy Talk was the first time. If we will dial it all the way back, I was working at at an incubator in Boulder, Colorado, and at the time, getting a chance to look at a lot of really fascinating new technology from many different types of companies, ranging beyond software, but Reallusion had an opportunity to be a client with the firm that I was working with, and I came aboard to build their first website. And so that began my marketing journey with Reallusion. But instantly, I saw what I think has happened over and over again, many, many, many times since the first time I saw it, not only for myself, but I hope for many other people that have been have had the opportunity to realize our technology. And that is that for me, the first time I saw a couple of dots be placed on a face, and instantly it came to life with animation. And me at the time being, I'll really date this, a macro media web developer, I was astonished at the simplicity of the technology and and it began a long time love and fascination for not only the technology but the team. And that's something that's so special about Reallusion, and not just defines myself at the company, but also the structure of how we've gotten to building the products that we have, and that is all the other fine people. There's many folks that I've been working with since that very first day, over 20 years ago, and that's a credit to Reallusion and the fact that people have been devoted to this effort for a very, very, very long time. And it's the same minds in many occasions. Of course, we've got a lot of other new talent that have come along and joined us over the years and as the company's been built. But from that day, That was the early beginnings of what came to be our flagship product, Crazy Talk, and even predated YouTube. We were building these things before, and people were saying, "Well, what do you do with it?" And it was so cool. I almost didn't care to have to tell you. Like it's amazing to see where the things have evolved and the platforms that individual creators now have to
Yeah.
share their work, launch. So
Yeah.
we've played a part of that. I hope a small spoke in the big wheel along the way. But those are the early days, and then a lot of evolution in time and discussion has evolved into a time where we all develop these products together, and I have a great team that works with me to do so. And every chance I get, my role is to not only help my team develop great products, but also to get to talk about them. I get the fortunate role to get to join you, Ian, and other folks, and speak about what I believe is truly a great set of tools, and then also just how they relate to the vision of what's happening in the industry. We try not to develop in a bubble, and hopefully we're seeing a collaboration along with lots of other technology and pushing the limits of what we all want to do with storytelling and visual effects and the like. So I get to be a part of a really grand team, and that I've done particularly mostly remotely here in the U.S. Many partners also in Taiwan and other parts of the world. And we make the world one small place, and get together quite frequently in order to keep doing what we do.
Well, you mentioned the dedicated crew there from Reallusion, but also the users are so. I mean, when I talk to a user of, say, Character Creator or iClone, they're, and I'm not being mean here, they're obsessive. I think they're as dedicated as the crew at the company, and that's a really interesting thing to see. A lot of people very excited about these 3D tools, these capture tools. And I feel like the real time side of it has actually made people as excited again. Is that your kind of takeaway at the moment in terms of the tools in the industry?
That speaks to the most vital part of what of what we do, and that is the users, and then in many cases are the fans of the tools. But you're right. There is a very passionate user base,
Passionate's a better
and
word than obsessive.
very passionate user base that are happy to share their direction and their wish lists and goals that they have for the software. We're constantly a better technology and solution, and because of them. I've joked many years saying that we've got the biggest ears in the business, and I want to always have that mentality, that we're always thinking and listening and trying to meet the needs of our customers. We get so many questions where things are raised that are great ideas, processes, and hopes to meet different projects that we get to have shared through our user base, and those things help guide us. Many of our software releases have been chock full of just top user request features that we constantly go to make sure that we're meeting. And many parts of the industry are continually evolving. We're gathering new types of users all the time, as more real-time technologies are climbing up in the ranks of production, and within very serious roles, beyond first time animation, and all parts in between. We find that there's new needs constantly evolving, and so that's why we have dedicated a lot of tools towards versatile characters that can take you from small apps and games all the way up to high end visuals, where processing power is vast, and you can have everything in between. But we try to adapt the tools so that users of any skill level can easily approach them. And then once they have a good control of base level, how to use them, the depths are there for them to just really guide themselves into on much more deeper concepts in animation or character development. And hopefully in the end, the tools stay out of the way of the goals of the user. We want to make it as fluid as possible for you to move in and out, and not only just come into our zone, but that speaks to another thing, and that is keeping your workflow moving, not just in our tools, but through our tools into other avenues, so that you can get the content you need and get it where it needs to go. So the users, the passionate user base is a real force for us. And I think that's built up, over the years, because we've provided a lot of training resources and opportunities for people to really get started without any pretense or challenge.
Now, speaking of new tools and adapting to the industry, let's turn to AccuRIG, which is pretty new. I mean, released earlier this year, and is all about auto rigging of 3D characters. How did AccuRIG come about as part of the Reallusion ecosystem?
I believe that it was a natural evolution of where we've been going with our character creation and development and animation workflow. It was fulfilling a need that we wanted to provide in order for custom models, custom IP, other creations to take advantage of our pipeline. And that really was another guiding feature from our user base. So many people wanted to utilize the tools inside iClone for animation, and then also being able to take that through to other tools like Unreal Engine or Unity, or where they may be developing, but lacked the ability to do that because they were locked into models that were, of course, you could bring them in for FBX, like key animation, but to really take full use of the tools, a way to do that needed to be developed. There is actually not just an auto rigger with AccuRIG, but it is much smarter than that. In fact, with the tools, you can bring in a character that's unrigged, and then allow AccuRIG to analyze the model and apply some automatic joint placement that you have full control to augment so that it fits any style of character that you brought in. Once you've got that together, you've even got the ability to select the bones for the fingers and line that all up, and then instantly start checking those bone placements and through a series of animations. The whole system works along with our actor core system, so that you can even upload that finished model to that, and then check with thousands of motions to see how your model is behaving. So the concept for AccuRIG, though, was to greatly simplify a workflow for artists and creators who develop their own content to quickly get that into a true animation environment with iClone. And so that process, I believe, is not only a way to rig it, but you also have with the joints things like elbows and knees. The joints are treated very well and will not collapse in a flat way, but have the right kind of joint bending and smart control there. Um, and then for models that are creations like artists who do lots of armor or things like that, you can make sure to uh, treat those kind of components with the care that they need so that they're not turned into more soft organic items, but are left to hard math as well. So there's some real smart technology in there to let creators take a finished model and bring it to life.
One thing that really jumped to me when I was looking at the details of AccuRig earlier in the year was using it to go from a 3D scanned person into a model that you can use. I feel like people are scanning themselves or using scanned people in their projects so much more these days, partly because you can do it with a phone, essentially as a photogrammetry scan, partly because we really are pushing digital doubles in a big way, and not just for feature film level quality visual effects. I'm talking for visualizations or VR projects or ads. But tell me a little bit about the thinking behind, oh, let's make it easy to rig these 3D scanned humans.
Well, there are scans available more and more, and it was at one point so prohibitive for many folks. You had to go to a real vendor
Mm.
to get a body scan. Now you're right; it's there's many different applications via the phones and other smaller methods that have brought it down to prosumer level, allowing anybody to do that. The difficult thing is once you've got the scan, what do again, that question of what are you going to do with it? The AccuRig does handle that very well so that you can bring in those scan poses either in A pose or T pose or even in the native scan pose and bring those models to life so that you do have an instant avenue to start utilizing that content in iClone. So it is through AccuRig into our system. You actually have a character creator level character that you can begin to work with. So it shortens the time vastly to be able to get that content in and get it moving.
And John, it's free. That's something that usually means people prick their ears up. And it's a real question I wanted to ask. What was the thinking there? Was there any thought that it might not be free? Obviously, this is something that helps it get into the hands of more people a lot more quickly.
Right. I think that it's a tool that all along we considered to be something that was a service that anybody could utilize. And it was really about helping artists bring their content to life. And of course, this tool would allow you to create the character rig, and you would have that FBX format. You could download that for a number of different applications and FBX targeted format already for Blender, for Max Maya, certainly for iClone. You can go directly in as iAvatar. It helps your model become ready for the content that it needs to be able to be animated where it needs to be animated. For Reallusion, we certainly hope that customers can see the use of continuing their work through our tools and inviting them as a way to experience that in a creative zone with AccuRIG. It's the fastest way to really let an artist see their character come to life with a real high quality rig. It also gives them instant access to the motion library to their characters inside ActorCore. So there's an avenue to take the free character and then start utilizing it with motions that they could access either some motions for free, but also there's a huge library of micro purchase motions or motion packs that they can instantly apply to their character and then download those. So there's a way for them for any user to expand their use of the software of AccuRIG with more motions and access to other content or animation tools. But AccuRIG is really an entry for them to start animating their character, and where they want to take it will be up to them. But it's a speedy way to get their model rigged.
Can I give a shout out at this point to the website for Reallusion in terms of if people want to learn a bit more about AccuRIG and other Reallusion tools, you really have so much detail on the website in terms of here's how the tools work, here's examples of it in play, and then, people can go a lot further with videos and whatnot. Basically, John, I just wanted to mention how much I really like the website, which is obviously reallusion.com, and you can look at much more about AccuRIG by going to actorcore.reallusion.com. I feel like the website must be an interesting evolution for you from the Macromedia days.
Absolutely. We went for visuals even back then for certain. But it's come a long way. We'll put it that way. I always said when I was starting and working with clients that the beauty of your website is that it's never finished. So we've held true to that still today. Thankfully, we hold that concept that we're never finished with it as well. And ActorCore and AccuRIG is a representative of the evolution of what you can expect to see more from Reallusion, access to tools that will be at your fingertips, not only under your account and through our hub, but also interactively online as well. So I definitely invite everyone to watch this space, come and participate. If you do not have your own model to rig today, then you can do what I do and get in the toy chest that is Sketchfab, and that we actually in AccuRIG you have a direct link for being able to either drag and drop a model of your own into the page to start or to the application to start modeling, or I'm sorry, start rigging, or you can go directly to Sketchfab and from that same page and access models that you can bring in and rig up and then start working. So it's either way, you've got a chance to find something to start working with. And you mentioned about it being a free application. It certainly is. And whenever you go to the ActorCore AccuRIG section, then you'll download a small application that will allow you to work on your desktop to do your rigging, and then that can get loaded into the ActorCore cloud to start working with lots of different motions and seeing your model come to life. The website has evolved quite a bit since I started it, and we've got they no longer let me touch it, by the way. So thankfully, it's run by a really amazing, smart group of folks that have so much talent in both art and function, and they've brought those talents together to make these tools. And so You could experience those on Actor Core and AccuRIG, and then really see before you even download one of the free trials that we have from our website for iClone or Character Creator. You can even start to experience what the software is like. So we invite you all over to reallusion.com, and always enjoy the opportunity to talk to you about what's happening with that, Ian.
Awesome. Yes, I definitely encourage people to go to that site and also to check out the Reallusion magazine, which is magazine.reallusion.com, which has a lot of case studies and stories too. I really like. John, it's been such a fun time chatting to you about your history with Reallusion, including website design, but also about AccuRIG. Thank you so much for joining me on Befores and Afters.
Thanks a lot, Ian. We'll be tuning in to more with you. Thanks a lot.